What's going on, guys? Welcome to Soniq Sounds, and today I want to walk you guys through a song that I worked on with an amazing channel in India called The Comedy Factory. So let's jump into the track. Part 1 is going to be the instrumental walkthrough. I'm going to walk through some of the mixing of the track, and then part 2 is going to be how to make the vocals sound amazing even if they're recorded on a phone. So let's jump into it. As you can see, the track is super simple with some effects, drums, bass, and 808, and then we're going to play it, and then we will break the track down. Let's listen to it. All right, very simple track. So let's actually go through the keys first because they are actually the backbone of the song. So the keys are super simple. It's just an arpeggio that goes like this. And then when the hook comes in, I actually ended up layering this with a few other layers. So let's just layer them up. Super simple right there. And then let's go through the 808 and the kick. It's just a super simple sample. It's one pitch. It's in the key of C throughout the whole song, and then you have the kick that supports the track throughout. Then you have the snare that comes in. And then you have the hi-hat. And then you have the effects section. Great. So now let's play the track. And now there are certain times in the track where I needed a bit more of a filler, so I created some reverse effects. For example, right here you have a reverse piano. And then I have some clock ticking sounds depending on where it was needed in the song. And I also have some snare rolls. Great. And then that's pretty much the production of the song. As you can tell, it's a super simple song, but I've also done a lot of processing on some of the sound. For example, for the 808, I made sure I cut some of the low frequencies down. I also made sure the frequency where my kick was coming in, it was not overlapping with it. So if you go and look at the kick right here, I am bumping the kick up right here at 231, and right around that space, I'm carving out some room in the 808 frequency, and I did not want the kick to interfere with some of the low frequencies. So I also made sure I did a low cut on the low frequencies below 35 on the kick. So let's disable these two, 808 and the EQ for the kick, and see how it sounds, and then we'll enable them and you can tell the difference. You can automatically hear the kick punching in a little bit more because there's a slight boost here, but there's also a cut right here where the kick would be punching in. Now, all of this is obviously going to our beloved OTT. I always keep the settings as is, and I just change the depth to 10%, and this makes a lot of difference. Let's listen to it. as soon as you put OTT on it, it basically hugs the whole drum track. So I absolutely love that. Obviously for the snare, I did a little bit of a boost and did a low cut on it as well. And when we go to the keys section, because there are quite a lot of keys coming in, I wanted to make sure some of them are not impeding into the vocal area of the track or clashing with the hi-hats. So for this particular set of keys, I did a lot of cut on the high-end frequencies. So you can tell that everything basically over 500 is getting somewhat cut. And then for a lot of these other synths that I have, I added this plugin called Cassette, and it adds a very lo-fi feel to it. So all these synths are going to a keys bus, and I added this plugin called Cassette, which adds a bit of a vintage feel to the whole sound. So let's enable and disable it and see how that sounds. So that is basically the mix of the keys that I've done here, and then I also added a saw wave that comes in at the very last hook. I boosted some of the high end of it, and let's see what that sounds like. So that was my walkthrough of this instrumental, and as you can tell, there were very few things that were going on in the track. There was a drum, snare, hi-hat, some synths, and 808s, but they were sitting well together, and the main reason was choosing the right samples that were fitting in well, that were well processed, and also EQing to make room for the frequencies or cut frequencies so 808 does not clash with the kick, or the high end of the synth does not clash with the high end of the hi-hat or the vocals. In part 2 of the video, I'm going to show you how I took some phone recorded vocals, put them in the track, process them, and release the track. So if you're interested in that, make sure you subscribe. If you have any questions, make sure you leave them in the comment below. I also have some free samples that I'm giving away on my website, so make sure you click the link in the description and go grab them. They're going to be available for next 2 weeks for free, and I'll see you guys at the next one.